In today's video, John Zmirak feels the Catholic Church should canonize Charlie Kirk. And just who is John Zmirak, you ask? He's a Catholic chap that's the senior editor of the stream. But this video is just another one with good intentions, yet has a much deeper deception. So let's take a listen first and then comment afterwards.
Charlie Kirk really is a Bonhoeffer figure. He was brilliant, undeniably brilliant and articulate, and effective, and moral. He was a wonderful Christian, and I described him as a martyr. You agreed with that, and I think there is something beautiful about heroes like Charlie, and even more beautiful when they're martyred. When I think of Bonhoeffer, you think, my goodness, this beautiful, brilliant young man murdered by the Nazis. He belongs to the ages at that moment. And I feel that way about Charlie.
Regardless of how you feel about Charlie, he was definitely not a Bonhoeffer. Bonhoeffer risked his life against the Nazis to promote Jesus, and he was put in jail and eventually put to death. Once again, this is not saying anything against Charlie. This is simply pointing out the incredible difference between him and Bonhoeffer.
And I feel that way about Charlie. And frankly, I think of Nathan Hale, the American hero who was hanged by the British. These are heroes.
I think it's my favorite saint, Joan of Arc. The British really made a mistake by burning Joan of Arc. If they had left her alive and she'd gotten caught up in the sordid back and forth of French politics, and is there anything more sordid than French politics? Her reputation would have been tarnished. She would not have been an icon of national resistance, an icon of the French nation for hundreds of years, that sustained men in trenches, in battles, that eventually was canonized by the church. I'm going to column I'm going to be working on soon is I'm going to call on the Catholic Church to canonize Charlie Kirk. He wasn't a Catholic, but then neither were the Coptic Christians who were killed by ISIS in Egypt a few years ago, and the Catholic Church has recognized them. I think it's time for us to start recognizing people who died for Jesus Christ, even if they didn't happen to attend the same denomination that we do.
So John thinks we should canonize Charlie Kirk as a saint, even though he's not Catholic. Well, if Charlie was a saved Christian, then he's already a saint and part of the body of Christ. This whole declaring someone a saint after they die is a bunch of Catholic hogwash and not in the Bible. But this was the most troubling statement.
I think it's time for us to start recognizing people who died for Jesus Christ, even if they didn't happen to attend the same denomination that we do.
He says we need to recognize people who have died for Jesus, even if they attended a different denomination. Now, to the Pope and those in the Catholic Church, this probably all makes sense, because the Pope has said that all faiths lead to God and that we may call him by different names, but it is the same God. And that, my friends, is a lie from hell. And there's a big difference between when Christians were put to death at Muslim hands for not converting to Islam to somebody being shot at a university rally. We still don't have all the answers, but his attacker seemed like an angry guy that claimed Charlie was even worse. But for John to say that we need to recognize people of different denominations that die for Jesus has both truth and error in it. First off, anyone who truly died for Jesus dies a martyr and was already a saint according to biblical standards. This extra Catholic fluff isn't necessary. So yes, we can honor a brother or sister martyr from many actual Christian denominations. But are we going to honor someone from the Mormon or Jehovah's Witnesses cult for dying for Jesus? No, because they serve a different Jesus and a different gospel. So actually dying for Jesus means nothing unless it's the real Jesus. Now, I believe this is just one more push for the ecumenical movement the Catholic Church has been promoting for a while now, and to unite all religions under one false God. But what about you? Please leave your thoughts in the comments below, and until next time, Take care, and God bless.